Welcome, Hearthstoners, to another episode of Jester vs. Season 6. My opponent is Gul'Dan. You want to assume that he's Zoo as opposed to Handlock, which means I'm going to keep that Ghoul. I'm going to drop these two back, but at the same time I'm going to keep that Execute too, in case it is Handlock. An 8/8 Taunter is really susceptible to an Execute. I've got an Armorsmith and a coin. A Belcher is going to be really nice if it is a Zoo build. He drops a Leper Gnome. It is a Zoo build. Well, the first thing I'm going to want to do is get that Ghoul out there. Ooh, a second Armorsmith. That could come in handy. That Ghoul is going to make that Leper Gnome sit still because he can't attack into it really. I mean, he could, but it would be a really silly move. I've got a paired up pocket Armorsmiths here that are capable of really boosting my armor up if I was going against Control in the late game. I'd want to hold on to those two. But the thing is, this is Zoo. And as long as you survive to turn 6 or so with about 20 health and armor amongst you, then you're pretty much won the game. So in that being the case, I'm probably going to be better off dropping those Armorsmiths one at a time and gradually keeping my health above, keeping my head above water as he's trying to slam into me. Now he is going to kill that Ghoul next turn. So I'm going to drop an Armorsmith now, go one to the Dome. There's no reason to attack a minion. He's going to have to do that himself. So I'd just be doing his job for him. That's always something you don't want to do. Realize whether or not your opponent's going to have to do something before you decide to do it for him. Now, if he does this right and he attacks with a Loot Hoarder first, I'm going to end up with 30 health, 1 armor, and a 1/3 Armorsmith. If he attacks with the Leper Gnome first, which would be a silly move, I'll end up with 28 health, but a heck of a lot of armor. And he does it correctly. Draws the card off of it. He's going to attack the Ghoul with the Leper Gnome. That'll put me at 2 armor. Leper Gnome will take me down to 0. Ghoul's effect will go off. I'll have a 1/3 Armorsmith and 30 health with 1 armor. Excellent. A Knife Juggler. Oh, a weapon would really come in handy right now. An Undertaker. I love it when the Knife Juggler hits an Armorsmith. Oh, a Ghoul. That'll do just as good. Now, you might be tempted here to go to the face with the Armorsmith like we just did with the Ghoul, but that's the wrong move. The right move is to soften up the Undertaker here. And, make that a 1/1. Because that Knife Juggler is going to have to attack into the Ghoul in order to kill the Ghoul. And the Undertaker won't be able to do that by himself. So by softening him up, you're making him susceptible to the Ghoul unless he drops another Death Rattle minion. If he drops another Death Rattle minion, it's a moot point, but you always want to play to your biggest advantage. This is the Haunted Creeper, Death Rattle minion, and he clears the Armorsmith with the Knife Juggler. Whenever that knife hits an Armorsmith, you're actually gaining value from it, and the Knife Juggler, his whole purpose is to negate value. So it's really a two-edged sword. It hits them really hard when they hit an Armorsmith with it, and it doesn't hit them hard at all when they come to the Dome. There's the second Armorsmith. Now you might be tempted to execute here. But armoring up is always the right move against aggro builds. As a matter of fact, it's probably in your best interest to pretend that you have 2 less mana crystals than you do every turn, unless you really desperately need them, just so that you could save them for the armor up. It's the warrior's hero ability of armoring up that allows them to be so versatile and defeat so many different types of decks. Knowing when to put on your armor and when to go fight is very, very important. Oh boy, is he spilling minions. I'm still at 32, and it is getting relatively late into the game. It's turn 5 now. I'm at 32. It's almost a 1 game. But that's a lot of minions. We're going to Belcher and pass the turn. He's going to have to slam everything into the Belcher in order to clear it, and that will help us. Actually, he could technically beef up his Undertaker or his Flame Imp and send that into the Belcher, clear the rest, the slime with the Leper Gnome, and then do damage to me. That wouldn't be good. But, oh, that's even worse. A Doom Guard. Good night, Belcher. Say goodnight, Belcher. Okay. Yeah, that's not happy. Now we're looking at he's got 5 minions in play. They're a lot of damage worth. And now at the end of turn 6, we're just barely over 20, and he's got massive board control. This is one of those areas where I'd like to say that it's guaranteed victory, but it's not really. We're going to spend both of our executes, armor up, and pass the turn. He's still got 5 damage coming our way. We're going to be down to 19 unless he does something even more silly. And we'll be heading into turn 7 at that point. So the Black Knight's an idea, Karn's an idea, but armoring up is very important. So we're hoping we draw another Belcher or a Loatheb or something that costs 5. A Demonic Flame Imp. Yeah, we're going to have to silence that. That's a lot of damage to be taking. Very interesting build so far. He's got a bit of demon mixed in with the zoo. We're going to armor up and we're going to silence that Flame Imp. It doesn't leave us with anything else to do. But that 2-1 is a body that's going to take out one of his attackers. And the rest of his attackers are still only 5 damage. So we basically just gave him a free turn. But we also gained 1 more closer to our Alex. Right now he's feeling like the beatdown. And he should. I've got a lot of stuff in my hand that I can't drop quickly. But if I draw a Brawl... Oh, another Doomguard. Okay, folks, this is looking like a loss. Unless a brawl would be nice. I don't have any executes left. This isn't looking good for the home team. But we do have 8 mana. Looks to me like it's a Karn situation in armor up. Pass the turn. Now, if I'm lucky, he's going to try and clear Karn, which would be a mistake. Karn's only a 4/5. If you look at his Death Rattle ability, yeah, he comes back. But he never gets a chance to come back if you don't kill him. And he doesn't have Taunt. Egg. I got lucky there. Egg. Haha, got lucky there. No, he's coming to the dome. 5, 4, down to 1. All right, here we go, everybody. Down to 1. Alex. Back up to 15. Let's get rid of that Flame Imp. Pass the turn. Against Zoo, you always want to take out the highest damage minion first if you can. Well, the highest damage minion you're capable of doing. Behind that, you also want to count things like the Dire Wolf as +2 damage to what he actually is. There's 5 more. 6, 7. I'm down to 8. Well played. Well played. He thinks I'm done. Oh, that's it. We're going to have to just kill him right now. He thinks I'm dead. Well played. That's bad manners. Let's see here. Belcher. Kill the Taunter. To the dome, armor up, pass the turn, game over. Well played indeed. You know what? Yeah, well played.